We continue to preview the 2025 college football season. Our stop today is Mayville, North Dakota, and we get to visit with Rocky Larson, who is the head football coach and athletic director for the Mayville State Comets. Coach, I know there's a lot on your plate. As a matter of fact, we were talking just a moment ago about some of the AD stuff that you have going on. When we last spoke, you had just taken the position full-time. I know that we have a lot of football to talk about, but I want to ask you really quickly because you're in the final days then as the athletic director in the North Star Athletic Association, heading to the Frontier Conference July 1. So a lot on your plate. Is that what's going on in this end of the month of May and start of June?
Yeah, no, there's been a lot of meetings on campus to try to figure out exactly the financial piece. And, on the football side, football and volleyball are the first to kick off in the Frontier. And volleyball, we're excited because we get 11 home games. It's a home and away series. And then football, we got to travel to Simpson, California. That's a flight. We haven't taken a flight here in my first 5 years, and we play 2 games in Montana. So the travel budget's got to go up for sure. So there's been a lot of meetings to make sure we have everything in place. We're really honored to be able to join such a great conference across the landscape in the NAIA. We're going to put our best foot forward and make sure we're prepared. And we spent the last year as an athletic department making sure we have all our ducks in a row so this transition can go smooth, and really proud of where it's at. And we're going to miss the North Star. North Star was awesome to us, but at the same time, we're excited for the next chapter.
All right. It's college sports, Coach. It seems like it's something always in transition, and there's always news every single day. But let's talk just a little bit about 2024 really quickly. 4-6 on the season. Now that's the most wins for the program since 2016, most in your tenure. So every time we've spoken, and I would say you're a friend of the channel, so I appreciate you being with us today. But every time we've spoken, it seems to be going the right direction, trending upward. A little bit of a hiccup when you lose your starting quarterback in game 1. And I know that changes the trajectory of the season somewhat. However, you still pick up the 4 wins. The last 7 games is there was something to that as I look back on it. And you had 3 wins, then the Dickinson State game, then 3 more losses after Dickinson State, perennial conference champion there. Of those 7 games, other than the Dickinson State game, 6 of them one-score games, 3-3 in those. But, I mean, your team just took it to the wire every single game. Your fans obviously got their money's worth because, I mean, they're staying for 60 minutes of football. But tell us a little bit about 2024.
Yeah, I think when you have we had 36 seniors last year, and your starting quarterback, who was an All-American as a sophomore, who had banged up his junior year, we built the whole offense and everything we wanted to do around that kid, and rightfully so. And then he gets hurt the first series of the first game of the year, and we got to adjust everything we do on the fly. I'm really proud of our coaching staff and the kids for staying the course and put a freshman quarterback in there, and Dylan Lamont did a great job. We had to use a little more tricks and gadgets and formationally. And I would say, when you can do that when you play people once, when you play them twice, you can only have so many tricks in your bag. So we struggled that second time around. We used every bullet we had to try to get some wins down that first stretch and get people excited. And, we start the year 4-2. We're playing meaningful games in October. We haven't done that around here in the past. And, overall, I was really happy with how our, that quarterback's a huge piece of any puzzle. You look across the NFL, you look across college football. If you don't have that kid, and Dylan's done a great job of maturing and getting ready. But for us to take a step and get 4 wins without the quarterback, overall, we're pleased with it. Now, you'd like to be 5-1 in one-score games, or 4-2, and you really close that gap. But at the same time, we can't change the past. We can only change the future. And it's really driving our kids in the weight room this offseason to how can we continue to close those one-score games. But defensively, I thought we were great. Offensively, we did some good stuff. And we were better in the special teams game. We ended up blocking 6 punts last year. That's a huge deal that we want to be able to transition into the 2025 year.
What then do you do in the spring? I mean, obviously, from all the months of going through the season, the players who are coming back, other than some recruits that'll be coming in, and you'll see that, but they're well intimate with the knowledge of, hey, we were right there a lot of times. Is there anything that you bring out, or is it just they're aware of it in the spring, going, we need to take one more step. We need to improve just this one more little thing here. How was your spring?
Yeah, I thought our spring was really good. We did some leadership stuff. When you graduate 36 kids, and naturally you're going to have some leadership voids, and talking about how we can be different leaders. How can we be servant leaders? How can we, prepare ourselves in the off season, throughout the summer, throughout fall camp. So when we are in those one-score games, we're used to being in that moment. And that's something you can't win close games unless you're in close games, and, getting our kids in those situations. And now we got to be able to learn from that. And next step of the program is to win those close games. But overall, the offseason, I thought, went as well as it could have. We had 92 kids go through our offseason workouts. That's the most we've ever had here. The most we had previous was 71. So our retention was really good this year. We had a lot of kids. Our average bench went up 34 pounds. Our average squat 140. Like, we did a really nice job in the weight room to close that gap to where we need to be. And then up north here, you never know if we're going to get a spring ball, right? I mean, it all depends on how much snow is on the field and the wind and the conditions. And we were fortunate enough to get some spring ball practices. We had the departure of our offense coordinator, Wade Smethers, and, move Scott Olson over, who was our defensive line coach, move him over to co-offense coordinator, Jack Mullen, and piecing together who we want to be offense with, keeping a lot of what we've done in the past and keeping some terminology and mixing in a few new things here and there. But overall, I'm happy with the way spring went. Defensively, continue to mold and continue to get some different fronts and do different things. And offensively, we're trying to blend those two offenses together and doing some different gun read stuff, along with keeping the vertical pass game is something we're really looking forward to. So overall, it was a very successful spring.
We're visiting now with Coach Rocky Larson from Mayville State here on Midwest Sports Net, and I encourage you, please like the video, please subscribe to the channel. We would appreciate that. It does help. It's encouraging. We like talking about small college sports and more throughout the Midwest and beyond. Coach, as we look at 2025 now and the offense, and you mentioned a couple things about that with the offensive staff and what's going in. You talked about working an offense around Tim Salmon. Dylan Lamont's coming back, and I think that's obviously a benefit for the program too, because a local boy, it's going to bring in local fans too. If you're doing well and you have local players, man, that's a recipe for success there. I know from AD's perspective, it's always good to have the fans coming in too. But for his particular skill set, how much is the offense changing from what it was, or what you at least had on paper going into 2024?
Yeah, and we're fortunate we hired Tim Salmon to coach our quarterbacks, so we have a guy who's been doing it forever. He got hurt last year, joined the coaching staff right away, so he started helping Dylan. When we were going out to hire an offense coordinator, we wanted to keep our terminology as much as alike as possible. We had Coach Smethers here for 4 years. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. We had some really good offensive years. We want to make a few tweaks here and there, but obviously having that quarterback back, the big piece is the offensive line. We get a transfer from University of North Dakota and Isaac Folan, who played for them. We return our center. We return our tackle. We return our tight end. So we have some pieces up front that we can really build around to keep our quarterback upright and keep him be able to distribute the football and get it to where it needs to be. So, and I think it'll help the run game when you get older on the offensive line. We got to completely retool that receiver room. We lost 5 receivers. So we're going to have a bunch of new names out there that people don't know of, and they're unproven, but we've seen them in spring ball. I think they can stretch the field and they can do some different things for us. So we're looking forward to that offense and the few tweaks we've made, and rolling it out against Judson there in week 0 to see what it looks like. But overall, like I said, I'm very happy with how the spring looked. It's always interesting going co-offensive coordinators and one guy leaving after 4 years, but I think our offensive staff did a great job keeping a like terminology and giving us a chance to compete here this fall.
One of the things that we talked about last year was the fact that there were so many coming back. You've already alluded to the fact that with 36 seniors graduating, we already know the offense is going to look a little bit different from what it did last year, of course, with the receiving core and all of that. Same thing for defense. I mean, you had all 11 coming back last year. Definitely not the case this year. Bailey Mullenberg on that defensive line, who had a fantastic year last year. He's graduated. Richard Shelton, linebacker, graduated as well. You do have Devin Woods coming back to be a big part of the linebacking core. Tell us a little bit about the defense.
Yeah, Zyler Carlson, we graduated 8 seniors on defense that played, and we graduated 14 or 15 of them that were in the rotation. So we have spots open all over, and that was something that was really good this spring, is to start those competitions and let's open up the field corner job, the boundary corner job. You graduate 3 defensive backs. The mainstay back there right now is Zyler Carlson, our free safety, who had a really good year, moved over from receiver to playing free safety. Great in the kick return game. Anthony Johnson was a senior, but he got a medical redshirt year. Our linebacker, so again, that was a bonus guy to get back that we really weren't counting on, but a lot of production. And then Devin Woods is, the kid that makes the whole thing go. He's that linebacker that moves, that drops into coverage. Being able to keep him with us is a big testament to the culture and everything. He's had opportunities to go play elsewhere, but he's stuck with us, and we continue to build that defense around him. And Coach Lateki and that defensive staff, when you move your defensive line coach over to be the co-OC, we got to hire a new D-line coach. We had to hire a new DB coach. So Coach Lateki spent this spring getting Isaac Thompson and Nick Flesland up to speed on where we need them to be. But I don't anticipate us taking too big a step back. I mean, when you lose that many kids, you're naturally going to take a step back. But we've been preparing, and like I said, our kids have worked really hard this offseason, and we'll see what these young kids can do. So, we have, like I said, we had 92 kids going through spring ball, of which of those 50 of them were on the defensive side. So we got a lot of really good work this spring to hopefully get those guys going. And they got to watch those seniors in front of them on how it's supposed to look. So we're nervous, but we're excited.
All right, Coach. Well, week 0, it's right at 3 months from the day of this recording from where you are. So a lot more time to keep that AD hat on for a little while. But the coach mulling things around before camp, a week 0 game, a Thursday game against Judson. That's at home. Then you get 2 games on the road against a couple of Division III opponents in Concordia from Minnesota, Nebraska Lutheran, and then September 20th. Yeah, that's that you were talking about that game against Simpson. Well, you get to go on the road. First Frontier Conference game, and that one's going to be on the road in a place a couple of time zones away, Coach. So that's a little bit of a trip right there. That's in the Frontier Conference West. Then you get your first Frontier Conference East game, and the list starts with Dickinson State, an old familiar foe, but now playing with a different conference perspective. Tell us a little bit about your season.
Yeah, Judson obviously hired a new coach here late in the process and trying to figure out exactly what they have. That's a 1-year contract where they're coming to play us on a Thursday night, and we're excited. I'll tell you right now, I'm really excited not to have to play people twice. You get one shot at them, and we've never played Judson. I have a lot of respect for, starting a program, and they have good numbers. They got a really good quarterback. We're going to have to play well that Thursday night to give ourselves a chance. And then Concordia Moorhead, 45 minutes down the road, Division III program. They've had our number the last 5 or 6 times we've played them. We've that's going to be a measuring stick early in the year. A really, really good Division III program that's coached incredibly well. And then Nebraska Wesleyan there, we're 2-1 the last 3 years against them. We had a lead late last year, and that game has been close. In the series, we played them 3 times. It's been a 1-score game all 3 times, except last year they scored late on us. So the opening 3 games there, we got our hands full. We're going to have to prepare, and you're a little nervous taking a young team on the road 3 straight games, especially when you're in Minnesota, you're in Nebraska, and then you're in California. There's nothing real close, so we're going to learn a lot about our team before we get to the Blue Hawks. But, Simpson, we don't know. Obviously, first year playing football, but we're looking forward to been spending a lot of time on booking flights and booking hotels and getting that. I've turned myself into a travel coordinator here too, the last few weeks. But yeah, obviously Dickinson's the standard. And every day you're trying to chase him down, and what Coach Stanton does over there is absolutely incredible, and the consistency and the way they do stuff. So right out of the gate, you get a chance to measure up with them like we have the last 3 years, and give it everything we got and see what happens. But we're really looking forward to the Frontier and the new scheduling model and the tests we have early in the year. So it should be a really fun fall.
All right, Coach. We're going to follow the Comets this season. Absolutely. By the way, I love the name too. That was the mascot when I was in high school as well, Comets. So I kind of got a personal, love for that as well. We'll follow the Comets this season. We appreciate you taking time to talk about Mayville State today. Coach Rocky Larson, again, heading into his 6th year as the head coach and getting ready for another great season. Coach, thank you so much for taking time with us today here on Midwest Sportsnet.
Thank you for everything you do for NAIA football, and glad to see you're doing well. And we appreciate. I watch these all summer, so we appreciate everything you do for NAIA football as well.